Hi everyone and welcome to another Toonboom rigging tutorial. This time we're building a blank character which you can use for your animation training or whatever. If you would like to skip the whole rigging process, the rig will be available on my Gumroad page for a small fee. And if you're not into spending money, that's fair. If you follow this guide, you'll end up with almost the same rig. Recording took me a few hours, and this time I'm not planning to edit the footage too much, just so you can see the whole process. I tried removing any confusing parts, but other than that, it's pretty raw. Keep in mind, rigging is a pretty repetitive process. You repeat the same few actions over and over. That is why I'll explain everything once, and later we'll just carry on without repeating myself. As you can see, I modified my interface. For rigging, I recommend these windows to be always present. You can easily move windows by dragging the tabs into desired locations. Whenever setting pivots, I use the rotate tool. I'm not using the drawing pivot, as this is a completely different tool and does different things. To move a pivot, select rotate tool, grab the pivot and move it to desired location. Once you have your line art finished, run the create line art from the color art script. It will drop a contour onto the color art layer, which you can easily fill with color. This way you have the line art separated from the color art. To edit keyboard shortcuts, go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts. Simple as that. If you're interested, here's a list of shortcuts I reassigned to different keys on my keyboard. Whenever applying deformers, remember to do it in this order. Select the drawing node, press Create Deformation Chain, select the rigging tool, select the same drawing node again. Start applying the deformer. Almost every window in Toonboom can hold extra scripts. For example, node view, if you don't see the bar, right click on top of the window, select node view. This should toggle the script bar. Now you can right click on the bar, select customize and add any scripts onto it. Okay, so before we jump to the tutorial videos, I just want to explain how I've made my templates and why I've made them and how they work, so you have an idea of what I'm doing in there. I mentioned it in my previous series in setup video, I think it was part 2. So instead of me going each time to node library, looking for a node, dragging it in here, I just prefer to create templates out of drawings like this one, where I will drop all of them at the same time into node view, then I just copy them and paste them here. So that's what I did, and all 8 nodes in here just exist as templates. This way, rather than going here, I can just drop it like that. Let me just show you. So that's it. It's pretty fast and it works. I can drop my nodes. The 5 nodes in here, the 5 templates, those are like auto patch, color art, line art, overlay, underlay. There's also a color override, cutter, and a visibility node, which has the soft render turned off. So this thing is off. Then there are 3 templates, which I use whenever I want to create a new drawing. So first there's the standard drawing, and this is made up from a empty peg, empty drawing, line art, color art, auto patch, and the 2 are connected here. And this one I would normally use for any drawing shape that doesn't have to merge with any other drawing. Then the next template is XX for patch. It's slightly different because apart from this stuff, there's also a cutter with composite connected under line art. I will show you in a second how to use it. And then there's the patch, which is slightly different. It doesn't have auto patch, it's just line art, color art, then line art has the visibility connected to it. And on line art, that's where you would normally draw the handle, which I will show you in a second. And on color art, that's where you would draw the mask itself. And it has a cutter and composite. So now let me just show you how it works. So those are the free templates. And they exist here as well. I just added a backdrop so it's a bit more clear. So if I have two drawings like this, I'll just copy, paste it. Don't worry about this stuff. So I have two shapes. Let me just connect them. So they are connected to a composite. You have to draw the line on the line art layer. Let me just check. Yeah, that's where it exists. So on the color, let me just add a color. So I have one drawing. Second drawing, let's fill it with color. So normally you would have something like this. Some people like to create extra shapes to make this stuff cut. Let's say this is an arm, and obviously it doesn't look good when you move it back and forth. Those are just two egg shapes, but you can use the patch if you use this build. And what the patch does, it will basically make it look like it's just one element. So if I create on this drawing, and I can't see anything because it's not connected, so let me connect it just for now, just so I know what I'm doing. So on color art, I'll just draw a shape. I don't know, color doesn't matter on the patch. Then I will create another shape on line art layer, which will be half transparent, so I can see what it's covering. Let me just connect it in front. No, okay. Yeah, so I have my shape, and now the proper connection of a patch goes like this. So you have two shapes. We have shape 1, shape 2, which is here, and patch in between. When I want to patch both of them, I grab auto patch from the first drawing and plug it into color art composite here. Then I do the same for the second drawing. I plug it here. Nothing happens yet. And then that's where this thing comes in. You have to grab the outer lower connection of the cutter and plug it here and here. Simple. So now you can see this stuff is patching here, but you can't see the handle, this one. So that's why you have to connect it in front of everything. So this blue handle is visible, but if you press render, it's not going to appear in render view because we disabled it in the soft render thing here. So yeah, we have a patch, and now if you look at it, first off, it renders correctly. There is no anti-aliasing happening. It works even when you move stuff in Z-axis. Obviously, I would have to move the patch as well. So you get the point. It's like this. It just works. It's easy, simple. There's just one drawing to manipulate and move, and you don't have to track any movement of the part, because sometimes people tend to draw extra drawing on top. It could work in some scenarios, but in this case, it just works, at least for me, for 99% of cases. And with those sorry, I will just remove this build. With those three types of templates, you can build the whole character, and you will see in the videos, like, that's how I build my character. If you're wondering why the nodes are named XX inside the template, it's mainly because I keep my hand on the left-hand side of the keyboard because I'm right-handed, and button X sits underneath my hand. So it's just easy and fast to find it and replace it. For that I use the script, which I explained where to get in the setup video from the previous series. Again, like, go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, just select, I can, I drop the template from here and I can just straight away go here, just type in XX and rename it to, let's say, head. And this will apply to every drawing, every node containing the XX in its name. And I can do it for multiple drawings. So in here, there are like 4. If I select it, or even if one is inside the group, which I can like do like this, there is a group. So if I just select it, go here, XX, and rename it to monkey. Okay, here we have, there's like monkey, and inside, if I go here, it's also inside renamed to monkey. If you're wondering how to create templates, I can just quickly show you how to do it. So you need to have a folder in your library. You have to have rights to do it. If there is a lock next to the folder, you have to right click it and, press right to modify. Anyway, once you're in the folder, go to your node view, press Ctrl R, create a drawing named XX, or however you want to call it. Then create a peg. By default, I think it's Ctrl P or Alt P. I assigned my create peg to Alt X because it's faster. And once I have that, you can drag it from here. If you don't have that, then you can go to node library, or you can use enter, but maybe you're using Toonboom 17, so you just go here and so here we have color art, line art, and auto patch. If you want to have the full names, that's fine. If you're struggling with remembering what each of the 2 letters mean, just connect all 3, then grab the 2, press Ctrl H to create a composite, make it as pass-through. So inside the mode, let me just put the window on. I have 2 screens, so yeah. If you have a pass-through, that's fine. If you have a bitmap and it looks more rectangular, that's not fine. At least for this series, make it pass-through. And here is your template. All you have to do now is press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, name it however you want. I would call this one just XX again, or I already have one here, but hey, and now you can drop it as many times as you want. The same goes for patch, so that would be the same stuff, just plug in cutter composite and then template it. And the last one would be the patch itself, so that's only a drawing peg. Then there's line art, color art, visibility node plugged in underneath line art. The visibility node has the soft render off. Then there is a cutter connected underneath. It's inverted, so it's wide. If you have older Toonboom, you have to go here and select inverted. Then you have composite under here, but this composite more than often I just remove because, it's not really needed. It's there, so it's easier to find and grab and connect it to proper location, but that's the patch. It could work also like this. Create an empty scene and import your image reference. You can find a link to the image under the video. And if you're watching the video far in the future and the link is no longer working, just pause the video here and take a screenshot or use a snipping tool to save this image as your reference. Once the reference image is inside the scene, add a peg on top of the reference node. Add horizontal and vertical guides to know where the center of the scene is. Select the peg in the node view, select a transform tool, and move the front view of the character into the middle of the scene. Once the front view sits in the middle of the scene, jump to the second frame, and with the animation tool toggled on, the yellow guy, move the reference so that the quarter front view sits in the middle of the scene. Repeat the same steps for other views so you end up with a rotating character. Once finished, move the reference aside. Drop the template and group it. Create a new empty drawing node and you can name it sizeReg. Then add a visibility node underneath it. I add version number to the peg name so I can track it in the future. Whenever I would update a rig, I would just change the peg name apart from saving it as a new file. We're going to build this rig inside this group. At this stage, I'm adding a master peg at the top and a master composite at the bottom. Each part of the rig will connect to these in one way or the other. Now I'm creating a size box that could be used to check the size relation between the characters inside the scene. It's just a simple blue square. Ears are pretty simple. Each one will connect to the head with a simple patch. While building, I also think of the hierarchy and how I want to structure the pegs. At this stage, I'm still not sure if I'll leave the hierarchy as is. I'm duplicating the ear and moving its contents to the other side with the select tool. This way the node's X and Y coordinates stay at 0. I'm also checking how the ears look like when moved in Z-axis. Same as previously, just create a patch somewhere in between the two drawings. In this case, it'll be the first ear and the head shape. Create a new peg for the ear plus the patch. This way you can move the ear and patch without affecting the head position. When creating a peg hierarchy, think of parts you want to move together and group them that way. I'm creating a separate composite for the handles. It's just easier to disable all of them at the same time while animating. Here I'm picking a half transparent color for the handles. For the eyes, I'm also making a simple oval shape. Remember to fill it with a different color than the skin. Even though both are white, separate colors allow for easier compositing later down the production. I want to mask the pupil inside the eye. For that, I'll use a simple cutter. Before that, make sure you plug in the pupil between the eyes, line art and color art. I'm plugging the cutter under the pupil and connecting the cutter to the fill color. I also need to change its mode to inverted. I know I will never use the separate logic for the pupil, so I'm just removing it.
When I was young, just a boy, dreamed of falling in love with a girl like you. Through the years I thought I found you, but nothing would do. Now here we are. Ooh, I wanna grow old with you. Ooh, you're making my dreams come true.
First, I'm creating a shape of the eyelid. Once it sits nicely on top of the head, I check which part needs to be cut.
When I was older, looking hard, your love hit me hard. I didn't see you coming. Through the years, you were doubting. You thought about running. Now here we are. Ooh, I wanna grow old with you. You're making my dreams come true. With you I feel brand new, 'cause I don't get old loving you. I wanna grow old with you. Ooh, you're making my dreams come true.
If I cut the eyelid with the eye, it will look okay at first glance, but if you check the render, it will drop a nasty contour. So I need to find a different solution.
'Cause I don't get old loving you.
Here I'm creating a temporary peg on which I'll shrink the rig. I just find it easier to work that way.
The sunshine fading slow, snowflakes on the ground again. The waiting is all we know. Will we ever make it out? I need a piece of your heart, honey. We're almost home. I can't make it here on my own. You'll be the first one.
If I cut it with the eye itself, it will still result in a messy contour. So now what if I break it down even further and start by cutting the eyelid line art first?
Keep on going, 'cause we're almost home.
I can't cut the eyelid line art with the fill color of the eye shape, because fill takes space only up to the vectors line, and the vector goes through the middle of the line. So the best thing to do in this case is to cut the eyelids line art with the entire eye. Now I need to sort out the eyelids fill color, which extends beyond the head shape. The simple thing to do is cut the entire eyelid with the head shape out patch.
It might seem impossible, but I love you either way it goes. Oh, it might seem impossible, but here I am, here you are. You'll be the first one, I'll be the last, babe. Just say what's on your mind again and again. And not so too long, but I can promise. Keep on going, cause we're almost home. Keep on going, cause we're almost home.
For the lower eyelid, I copied the upper one and followed the same steps as before. To create an eye that can not only close but also create the extra line on the side, I will need to duplicate the line and work on the copy separately. For that, copy the line art from the line art layer and put it on the overlay layer. Paint it with a new color just so it's easy to see how the line behaves. Connect the overlay layer node underneath the main eye shape and plug it in front of the line art. Now let's create a new drawing node which we will use as a mask for the wrinkles. The wrinkles will only appear inside the mask boundaries. Same scenario as with the patch here. On line art layer, create a handle. On color art layer, create the mask shape. Now plug the cutter under the overlay layer of the eye shape. Once there, connect the color art from the mask shape into the cutter. Don't forget to invert it. All done, you can now change the temporary color into a black one. You can also create a new drawing substitution for the mask where there's only the handle and no mask on the color art layer. This way you can easily toggle between two cells. The brows are fairly simple, just a drawing with Deformer, a few drawing substitutions and a mask cutting the eye. here I'm creating handles for the hidden elements, so it's just easier to grab them. I forgot to finish the brow, so I'm creating a mask which will be used as the eye cutter. And I think that's it for this video. In the next one, we'll probably finish the face and maybe do the upper body. Before I finish, I just wanted to say thank you to both of my supporters, which is Masa and Innati. Thank you guys. If you find this video helpful, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.